Well,
He says,
how about Jonah in the whale?
Okay.
See, God wanted Jonah to go to Nineveh, and Jonah kept saying, "I don't want to go to them Ninevites because they're so nasty." God kept telling him, "So I want you to go to Nineveh and help those people, teach them about God." And no, Jonah said, "Nah, I don't want to go." So one day he was down fishing, and this big whale come up, swallowed Jonah. And for 3 days he's in the belly of that whale. And it was all nasty. There was dead fish laying in there, and it stunk. And the stuff in the belly stomach and the whale's stomach made him turn white like a ghost. One day the whale got sick on his stomach and went up on the shores of Nineveh and went, "Bleh," and puked out Jonah, spit him out on the beach. And the people there at Nineveh saw Jonah come walking up, and he had no eyebrows, and all his hair was gone. And he was bleached white from being in the belly of that whale. And they thought he was a ghost. It's a true story. And then Jonah realized God wants me to be in Nineveh, and I don't want him to put me back in the belly of a whale, so I'm gonna start preaching. That's a true story. You better not show that to nobody.
I know, Mommy just wanted it.
she's going to put it on YouTube.
I might.
See how many views she can get. I'm just picking.
My speech is not that good. Don't put me on personal thing.
Put that bottle of water by your bed tonight.
Another one? Probably. I'll probably do 20 more.
Okay.
Stop, Bobby. Grace.
Mommy wants it for her
Stop,
son.
Grace. I don't want to do it. Nobody's taking me. Have you heard about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego?
Yes.
Have you heard it?
Yeah.
You heard it?
You can tell that to me again.
You can tell it to him again.
There was these 3 Hebrew brothers, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And King Nebuchadnezzar made a great big statue. And it was the image of Nebuchadnezzar. And the rule was that when I heard the horns blowing, that everybody would bow down to that statue of Nebuchadnezzar. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, "Not us. We'll bow down to one God, our God." And they heard the horns and trumpets blowing one day, and they wouldn't bow down. And the guards told King Nebuchadnezzar, so everybody's bowing down to your statue, but the 3 Hebrew brothers, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. King Nebuchadnezzar said, "Bring them to me." He said, "I'll throw them in the fiery furnace. They'll either bow down to me or I'll cook them." So he brought them to him, and they told him, Debbie, said, "We won't bow down, we'll bow to our God." Stop, Aunt Gracie.
Mommy said she wanted me to record you for a sale.
Richard, they might want to have you telling stories when you're gone.
I ain't going nowhere now.
Leave her alone. Tell your story.
Forgot where I was at.
Bow down to Nebby.
Yeah. They said, "Bow down and keep Debbie."
Debbie.
And they said, "We're not bowing down. Our God is the one true God, and we'll only bow to Him." So
Story time
Debbie
with
got
Paw.
mad, and Debbie told the guard, said, "You heat that furnace up 7 times hotter than what it normally is." They got that furnace heated up, and they bound Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in rags, and they was going to throw them in the furnace, but it was so hot when they opened the doors, the fire was so hot, the guards just fell over dead. The other guards bound them up and threw them in the furnace, and King Nebuchadnezzar was up top, and he was laughing. They looked down there and there's 4 people walking around in the fire. And Debbie said, "Did I not throw 3 in a fiery furnace?" And his guard said, "Yes, you did, King Nebi, 3. And Nebi said, "Look, I see 4. And one is the image of Jesus." And he went through the door and called out, and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego come out, and they didn't even smell like smoke. They was walking around the midst, loose in the fire. True story.
You say that every
said,
time.
Nebi
In
said,
the Bible.
Nebi said, "I'll tell you what," said, "your God is way more powerful than my God. I want to worship your God." So King Nebi started worshiping God. He still was a bad dude, but he saw that the 3 Hebrew brothers could walk around in the midst of the fire and not even smell like smoke. Is that not a cool story?
That's a true story.
Yeah.
Yes, in the Bible.
If it's in the Bible, it's true. Word for word.
God's word.
Tell
Hunter.
me another one.
Tell him another one.
How about the story of Job? You know Job?
No.
Job was righteous and
You're so
perfect
cute.
in God's eyes. He was a man of God, and his family was godly. And the devil come down one day and said, "I want to test Job." And the devil's got wicked ways. And God said, "Okay, so you can test him, but you can't take his life. Do anything to him." And the old devil said, "I want him." So he took his land, the cattle, his sons, his family, and then Job lost everything he had. He had boils, blisters all over his body, and he was in a pottery heap, scraping his balls so the pus would drain out. His wife told him to curse God and die. And Job still wouldn't curse God. He had lost all his farms, his sons, his daughters, everything. And he said, "Our God is still great. Our God is still the powerful, wonderful God." That's a true story too.
We'll continue.
And then God gave him back more than he had to start with. Gave him more cattle, more land. He had some new sons and daughters, and they became a great nation. What do you think? True or
What do you
false?
think?
True or
True.
false?
True.
True, that's right.
It's in
If
the
you'd said
Bible.
false, if you'd said false, I don't know what I'd done. I'd probably hung you up by your toes and spanked you.
No, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't do that to Hunter.
And now can you tell me another one?
Well, let's see.
Abraham?
How about the walls of Jericho? God told Jeremiah, was it Jeremiah?
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
It was Joshua.
Joshua, that's what I was trying to think. They started out like 3,000 soldiers. God said, "That's way too many." He said, "Send 1,500 home." He said, "You don't need that many. Take the walls of Jericho." And he took 15, half of them went home. And then he told them, said, "You get rid of about a third more, because them that don't are not going to do you any good. No point in taking them." And then he told them, said, "Get down and find the ones that drink their water like this, looking around all the time." He didn't want the ones that lapped water. They want to drink the water, because those are most alert. And I think he got down to like 100 men. And he told them for 6 days, march around the walls of Jericho. And on the 7th day, beat all these cymbals and loud banging stuff, and we're gonna make the walls fall. Jericho heard all that loud banging and clanging on the seventh day after marching, and they got to fighting each other, and the people inside of town Jericho killed each other, and the wall came tumbling down. All this stuff's in my mind, but I ain't read it forever. Yeah. Garden of Eden. How about you tell that one? You can do it. Starts out by God created Adam. God created man in his own image. And Adam was doing fine by himself, but one day he asked God for a partner. And God gave him Eve. And Eve, he took a rib from Adam and made Eve. He told me also, eat anything in the fruit in the garden you want, but do not eat the tree of knowledge and wisdom. One tree in the whole garden. And one day the devil was out there and Eve was there. He said, why don't, see, the devil starts with a question. He said, why doesn't God want y'all to eat of the tree of good and evil? And put doubt in her mind that she could eat it. So this one ain't gonna matter. So she took a bite of the fruit off tree of knowledge and what was it? Hey, knowledge and good? Yeah. Knowledge and good. And once she took a bite, she felt different. And she got Adam to take a bite. And then they all both realized they didn't have any clothes on. So they started gathering up some leaves, twigs, and sticks, and goat hide, and made them some clothes. And then God visited them and realized they had been doing something they shouldn't have. And then came the curse on man. A little pain in childbirth, weeds in their garden, all kinds of trouble and strife. Everything up to then was good. I can't remember all the details. Hayden, did you add anything to it? That's how the devil will tempt you, though.
You just don't pay that devil no attention, do you?
Yeah. Tell him to go on somewhere else.
You know, can you tell me, Abraham? What about the one that you were reading yesterday about when Jesus was out in the desert? Can you do Abraham?
Oh, when he was tempted out of the devil?
Can you do Abraham?
Yeah, that was a good one.
What did you do Abraham?
Jesus in Matthew was out in the desert, and he had fasted, and he was hungry. And the devil came to him and said, I'll give you all these things if you'll bow down and worship me. And he offered him bread, and he said, no, he said, man shall not live by bread alone. And then he took him up on the highest steeple, highest point, looked out over all the lands, said, all these things, lands you can have. And Jesus said, no, so that's not important. I can't remember exactly what it reads, but so that's not important. Anyway, he resisted the devil, and I can't do this with her girl taking me.
I'm doing it.
I'm done.
I'm not looking at the video, I'm looking at you.
How can you tell me, Abraham?
You didn't finish the other one.
Abraham's really long.
Yeah, I don't know if I
Hayden can tell the Abraham one.
That
No.
one.
Oh yeah.
Tell me that one.
No,
Learned it at school.
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Maybe.
God decided He was going to end mankind on this earth. He told Noah, said, get your family.
Hey,
and
Mama.
build an ark. They're going to build it so long so wide, so I give them all the measurements. And said on 2 of every animal, creeping, crawling, flying, everything in that boat. And said, I'll bring the rains. So Noah built this boat, and he had to have help. And it was huge. And one day the animals started showing up. It was 2 of everything. Just like we got those ducks at the house, they showed up. And pretty soon the boat was full. And for like 7 days, it didn't rain a drop. And all the people were laughing at Noah with all them animals pooping inside that boat.
Can you breathe?
They had already closed the door on the boat.
Can you breathe?
And one day it started raining. And for 40 days and 40 nights it rained. And it rained. It was a toad strangler.
Many stories of Paw Paw.
Yeah.
Tell me your favorite.
Of all the ones you know, what's your favorite?
Maybe Noah?
You like Noah the best?
Yeah.
How you think?
He likes Abraham.
How do you think Noah?
I like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
How you think Noah
Yeah,
got
I
all
think
those animals on that
he
boat?
told you that story more than he did anybody.
I think he did. And
No, he told me this.
we would do that one, and then we would do Little Red Riding Hood, and then I would get out and I would get up and act it out.
You remember that, Richard? Gracie acting out
Yeah.
Little Red Riding Hood?
Yeah.
Did he ever tell you the 3
And then I would go
little
eat a bite of
pigs?
bananas
you the 3
and tart.
Did I ever tell you about who built y'all's house?
But not anymore.
Did he ever tell you about the 3 little pigs?
Ever hear
Yeah,
that?
that one.
Yeah, Fredo.
Yeah, you
All
should.
about 3 little pigs.
Yes. Tell that one.
Once upon a time, there was 3 little pigs. They crawled up out of the creek, and they got
Really?
looking over Nolecrest Farms, and they said, "I'm gonna build a house."
Oh yeah, that one.
And
Remember that one, Gracie?
one little pig said, "I see some sticks. I'm going to gather up some sticks and get me a house." And another one said, "Sticks, straw, hay." One said, I see a barn full of hay. I'm gonna get me a barn full of hay, and I'm just gonna snuggle in, and I'll be good to go. And the smart little pig said, "Not me." Said, "Y'all can do what you want. But that house up on the hill, whoever built that brick house really knows what they're doing. So it's brick and wood, and it's all strong." Said, "I'm gonna find out about that one." And the pig went knocking on the door, find out who built the house. And
Take your hand down, I can't see your
and-
face.
she said, "Justin built a nice house. Bricks. Get out of there."
I can't see your face because your arm's in the way. That's how you see your face.
Finish it, Papa!
And one day, get out of my face. Go over there.
And one day the real pig said,
One day,
"Get
a big
out!"
bad wolf come knocking on the door.
One day, the little bit.
Done blowed the straw house.
Get out my face. Gonna burn through the house.
The wolf had done blew the other,
I can't see your face. I don't like when I
the
can't see.
other wolf came, and he'd done blown the other 2 houses away.
Get out of my face.
I guess that was fun.
Okay, finish it.
Can you finish it?
And after the stick house was blown away, and the hay house, they all went running. And they went knocking on the door, and the 2 little pigs come running inside, and they slammed the door shut. And
There we go.
they went inside, and the big bad wolf come knocking on the door. Said, "I'm gonna huff and I'm gonna puff. I'm gonna blow this house away." And they said, "Oh, no, you're not." Said, "Justin Keys built this house. And it's strong, it's brick. It's the strongest house in the neighborhood." And the wolf, "Well, I'm gonna get you." And he went winding up. And nothing moved. The shutters rattled a little bit, but nothing moved.
Hey, Mama.
Hey, Grace. gonna get me one of these when I see one and play with it.
I know they're so
Get
fun.
one for me.
Sure. Maybe Barnacles will have
I'll
one.
have a blue one.
Okay.
Why not?
All the stories of the Bible is true.
I don't want to be on TV.
Well, he's already on TV on Hunter's channel and my channel from farm videos and stuff.
From what?
He's in Hunter's farm video.
Look at my knee.
He's in Hunter's
I
farm
make
video.
too many mistakes.
You don't have a
No, you didn't make a bit of mistakes.
No, you didn't. People would like to see that, Paw Paw.
Let me see your nose.
I'm gonna go up my nostrils. I'm gonna go up my nostril like.
Will it go up your nostrils?
Is it gonna come up your nostril?
I'm gonna have a nostril picker.
What?
Nostril picker.
No,
You got a finger right here. That's a picker.
it's something else.
I'm fixing to go to bed. What time is it?
I don't know. My phone. Is my phone working or not?
What time is it?
Baby's in our bedroom tonight.
Let's go get in our
What
bed.
about Moses? Baby Moses.
The beach is
I
dark.
need one
Ah!
that's
Knocked out. Might have a piece of sand and a kip in it.
Are you ready for bed, Hunter? Let's go. Let's get in the bed. Good night, everybody.